Good afternoon. I'm John St.Clair, and I'm here this afternoon with Dr. Beverly Epps at the University of Mary Washington College of Graduate and Professional Studies. Dr. Epps is an education professor here and is currently teaching her class about understanding by design. Dr. Epps, could you tell us a little about understanding by design?
Understanding by design is something that's before its time, or really after its time, because it actually does a good job of pulling together the work of Madeline Hunter, Multiple Intelligences by Howard Gardner. It really makes educators rethink what they do in the classroom. If you ask most educators, they begin by looking at the content standards and they go, okay, how am I going to teach this information? Then they start thinking about how am I going to test it. But we know that when we have students in our classroom, they always ask us, why do we need to learn this? Why do we need to know that? Using the concept of understanding by design, educators have to take a hard look at the understanding. They have to move beyond knowledge to understanding. And when you're talking about understanding, it's about teaching students how to use the information, how to apply the information, not just know it. So up front, educators have to become aware of what is the enduring question. What is it we really want students to know and be able to do with the information that we're teaching them? As an example, if you're teaching students information about the rainforest and why, in fact, the rainforest is being pulled down and destroyed, and some students might not really have the connection, the global connection, but the enduring question is does the deforestation of the rainforest have an impact on global warming? And as an enduring question, it's something that is arguable. You know, people can talk about it, they can debate it, and it really helps to enhance critical thinking skills for teachers and for students.
That's very interesting that you mentioned Madeline Hunter. I can remember from my teaching career back in the 70s or 80s when in Tennessee we taught by the Tennessee Instructional Model, TIM, and it was based on Madeline Hunter's work. In your program, you're teaching instructors, teachers, school teachers, how to employ understanding by design techniques. Do you use understanding by design in teaching them as adults?
I try to. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult, but for methods classes in particular, I try to use all of the methods that I'm teaching them in some form or fashion. I really use a concept called format most of the time, but I am working my way towards understanding by design. And I just wanted to back up. One thing about Madeline Hunter, she always talks about the anticipatory set.
Right.
Having that enduring question is
right.
how we link in that anticipatory set for teachers.
You know, that's interesting. I do remember talking about the anticipatory set, but never in the consequence in the context of the really fundamental issue. Yeah. That's beautiful. Understanding by design, in the reading that I've done, they talk a lot about working backwards. Mm-hmm. Explain that part to me.
It's not really working backwards. It appears to be backwards, and in fact some people feel like it's a linear process, but it's not a linear process. It's a matter of having the ends in mind as you're teaching. For example, when I'm teaching understanding by design, I think the real key piece is helping educators come up with better assessments, because that's what we're really dealing with here, is how we assess the children. Getting away from our multiple choice test and essay tests. Yes, those have their place, but in understanding by design, the focus is on performance-based assessment. And many teachers have difficulty coming up with performance-based assessments, and the reason is because they haven't thought about what is it they really want the students to know and be able to do. And to develop the types of vignettes that for performance-based assessment, you really have to have that piece. So it's kind of backwards, but not really. I actually think it's the right way.
Dr. Epps, thank you very much for sharing your understanding about understanding by design.